Hey y'all, I'm Anna and welcome back to my channel. I am so sorry that I've been gone so long. As most of you know, I just had a baby, so we've had a lot going on around here. But today I'm bringing you two amazing crockpot recipes. Y'all are going to love both of these. Okay, so our first crockpot recipe is cheeseburger soup. Now I have made a version of this soup on my stovetop, and this is very similar, except today I'm using some Velveeta cheese, and I think that's going to be so yummy. I am going by a recipe that I found online, so I will have that linked below. Now there are a couple of changes that I'm going to make. I'm adding a couple more potatoes than the recipe calls for, and I'm also adding some Auntie No-No's seasoning. Now my mom got this for me for Christmas, and I don't think you can get it in stores. You have to get it online, but it is so delicious. I cannot wait to use it. It's like an all-purpose seasoning. You can put it on anything basically, and it makes everything so good. Now the first thing I'll do is chop up all of my veggies. I've got some potatoes here, an onion, and these are two little carrots that I have. I wish I had more. I love carrots in cheeseburger soup, but this is all I have on hand, so it will do. I'm not going to peel my potatoes because I don't feel like it, and I don't think it's going to make much of a difference. So I'm going to go ahead and get started with this, and after I have everything chopped up, we'll put it in the crock pot. Alright, I think I am just going to do 3 potatoes. I'm going to set this small one aside. I think this will be plenty. The recipe says to add 3 cups of chicken stock, but since I added a little bit more potato than it called for, I'm going to add 3.5 cups of chicken stock. And some minced garlic. And some salt and pepper to taste. Okay, and now I'm just going to cover this up and cook it on low for 3 or 4 hours, and then we will move on to the next step. My soup has been in the crock pot for about 3 hours, and so now I'm ready to cook up some ground beef. I've got 1 pound of ground beef that I'm just going to brown on the stove, and I'm going to add some Auntie No-No's seasoning to this. If you don't have Auntie No-No's, of course, just use some salt and pepper. And now that my ground beef is nice and brown, I'm going to add in a 1/4 cup of flour, stir that around for a minute or so, and then add in 1 cup of milk. And I'm just going to stir this together until it thickens. Okay, this is ready to go into the crock pot, so I'm going to add in the ground beef mixture. And I'm also going to cube up 1 pound of Velveeta cheese and add that to the crock pot too. Okay, we're going to let this cook on low for 1 more hour or until the cheese is melted. I served mine with some crumbled bacon on top and saltine crackers, and it was amazing. My entire family loved it. Okay, so tonight's recipe is called Fiesta chicken, and we're going to start off with 2 large chicken breasts. I did already spray this with some cooking spray. 2 tablespoons of taco seasoning. The recipe does not call for ranch, but I'm going to add about a tablespoon of this in. 1 can of corn that's not been drained. Now I'm gonna go drain and rinse this. This is just 1 can of black beans, but feel free to use whatever kind of beans that you like. So the recipe says to add in a can of Rotel. I don't have Rotel, so I'm just going to use my petite diced tomatoes. And finally, we're going to add 8 ounces of cream cheese. I'm just going to lay it right on top. And now we're going to cover this up and cook it on low for 6 hours. Alright, it's been about 6 hours, so now I'm just going to mix everything together and shred up the chicken. I'm also going to add a good handful or so of Mexican cheese. You can add whatever kind of cheese you like. Now I'll just cover this up and let it cook on low for maybe 10 minutes or so, just until that cheese melts. And you can really serve this however you'd like. You can make tacos, enchiladas, anything you want, but I just chose to serve mine over some chips tonight. It was so good. I added some avocado and cilantro. We all really enjoyed this one, and I hope you do too. Thank you all so much for watching today's video. I hope it gave you some inspiration, and I will see you all soon. Bye.